missing some stuff.
So the days say,
They may or may not be. We're good? All right.
okay, thank you.
Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance and all that stuff.
Do you want to do it?
Sure. When I get you a gavel.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Good evening and welcome to. Good evening and welcome to everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 26, 2022, and we are of the Ordinance Intergovernmental Relations and Committee. So today, let's stand and take a moment of silence, please. Right, for the United States of America, and to the for the state, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with justice for all. Vamos a esperar.
We have minutes off, but I'm not ready to vote because I was on the 12th.
Okay.
So you want to just leave it there?
You want to go to
Leave
it?
it there.
Okay. So today, we had a couple of new business items, and we would like to start for item. Do you want to call this item first?
You want to go in order, or you want to see who's here?
Okay,
Which one do you want to do? These are people who have things missing.
okay, but they are
They
here.
may or may not be on.
Okay, let's go to in the order.
Start the order? Okay.
That's it. Okay, the first, before I want to call to roll call, we have with us Councilor Maria de la Cruz,
Present.
Councilor Estela Reyes, absent. Councilor Selena Reyes, absent. And Councilor Stephanie Infante is also absent. No? Okay. She's not, okay, thank you. So Stephanie Infante is not part of the ordinance committee. So the first item,
But I'm here.
I'm sorry, Council President Marla Plan. Present.
Present.
My first item in the agenda is 11222. This is a handicap parking for 83 Warwick Street for Nereida Madera. Is she over here? So she is no. What is the motion, please?
Should we send a motion to the police department for a recommendation?
Second the motion.
So the motion is being made for President Laplan, and it's being seconded by Maria de la Cruz. Roll call, please. Maria de la Cruz, Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council President Laplan,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes, Council Selena Reyes, absent. So the second item is 11322, a stop sign request, Newberry Street, a Summer Street by Liliana Escobar. Liliana Escobar. What is the motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we send this to the police department for their review.
Second the motion.
Roll call. Council Maria de la Cruz.
Yes.
Council LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes. Council Estela Reyes. Absent. The third item in the agenda, 11622, un día de clamor, O'Connor Park. Maribel Maldonado. Please. Welcome. Can you state your name and your address, please?
Yes, my name is Maribel Maldonado, 31 Brook Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Can you let us know a little bit about the item that you request in the park?
¿Puedo hablar en español? Más fácil para mí. It's more easy for me speaking Spanish. I am trying my best.
Can someone help to
Yes.
translate it, please?
Es un día para convocar al pueblo cristiano
It's a day to put together all the Christian
Can
community.
you get more close, please, to the microphone? Thank
It's
you.
a day to have all the community, the Christian community together.
Okay. Yeah.
What else you want to say?
Queremos convocar eso porque entendemos que la comunidad necesita,
We understand that our community is in need.
después de todo lo que ha pasado,
After everything that happens,
que es necesario para la comunidad acercarse a Dios.
so it's necessary for the community to be close to God.
Okay. Thank you.
So ¿qué es lo que va a estar pasando ese día?
Vamos a hacer un servicio, a dar un servicio para orar por la comunidad.
¿Cuánto tiempo va a ser más o menos eso?
Más o menos como 2 horas y media.
They are expecting to have this activity around 2 hours, and they're going to be praying in the park, in the common park.
So you only need from, according to what I can see in here, from 4 to 7.
¿De 4 a 6 de la tarde?
Sí, más o menos.
Yes, approximately.
Personally. Do you gonna have it at time, like to clean it and just leave it at the park in the same way that's practically did you find it?
Se van a asegurar de que limpien el parque. De que
Eso es
todo-
correcto.
Yes.
Correct?
Sí.
So, and your activity is going to be on September the 3rd.
Eso es correcto.
Yes.
September. Oh, here says September.
September 3rd.
September 3rd.
It's a Saturday.
Okay, let me ask also, there is any question, Councilor?
Madam Chair, I have a question, Madam Chair. So we got the application in front of us. I don't see that all of the sign-offs are available. It looks like you're missing some of the sign-offs. Do you have any more sign-offs recently?
Le están faltando algunas firmas a la petición. ¿Tú las colectaste todas o te está faltando alguna?
No, ya se colectaron todas.
¿Y las sometiste?
Sí, se supone que sí, que estaba todo ready to fill.
She said that she collect all the signatures already and supposed to be ready to go.
Through you, Madam Chair. So you, I'm not going to debate that. You might be right. I just don't have it. Through you, Madam Chair, what I'm seeing is absent at this time last week was something from the Fire and Health, Building and Health Department. There's something under review under that same department with Mr. Firefighter Delaney. So there's 1, 2,
Hay alguna firma que están faltando.
2 items that are missing under the approval section. So you might already have them. So, and this could be outdated because you could have gotten them since last Thursday. But we just need to make sure that you
No
have the
completaste.
documentation before the council will approve it.
Eso se completó hace como 2 semanas atrás.
She said that everything was complete 2 weeks ago.
Se supone que sí.
My recommendation through you, Madam Chair, is to go ahead and take a look, go back into your citizen serve. Somebody, either you or someone else went on there to start the application process. You should continue that process and double check, because there's at least a couple of different places that it doesn't appear. And I would encourage maybe a follow-up with those departments and ask them, have they received it? Where are we? So that on next Tuesday night, we're good to go and we can approve it.
So, para regresar el martes que viene.
Councilor De La Cruz, do you have any question?
Motion to send to the full council because there is a delay in the department of the signatures. Then I would like to send document to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Or in favor?
Madam Chair, would you be willing to offer a condition that all the sign-offs are present at the full council?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, does the counselor from District A accept a friendly amendment that part of the sending up to the full council is on the condition that the rest of the documents are signed off?
Council President. Council President.
Very good.
Okay,
We're good.
okay.
We're good then.
So roll call. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes absent, Councilor Estela Reyes absent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one and God bless. Thank you.
So the next item in the agenda, 11722, the Christian Community Fellowship Church Family Event, Gardner Park.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
State
evening.
your name, please, and your address.
Anita Rodriguez, 139 Saratoga Street, Lawrence, Mass.
Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Okay, this is for Community Christian Fellowship. Our pastor is Milagro Gruñon, and we are on 582 Essex Street. We want to do a family event, most likely it's for the children, for the kids and for the youth. We want to have a fun time with them, fun day, and that's what we request in that platform.
Okay, so the event is from 11 to 7 p.m.
Yes. Actually, it's going to be around 1 to 6, but we want the extra time to set up.
So start at 11, or this is when you're going to start doing the setting up at 11?
We're going to start doing the setup at 11 o'clock,
So and the event is going to start practically
around 1.
around 1. Any question? Yes.
Madam Chair, so I'm looking at the permit. There was actually, you're missing, it appears that you're missing one approval, but actually 1, 2, 3 approvals, and one of them was denied.
Yeah, it was denied, but then it was approved. It was by the water department.
So we will need to have need to see that somewhere. So at the full council level, I would encourage you to bring that documentation or have that changed in the citizen serve so we can actually see that. Okay. And also there's a couple of other conditions that need to be met as well. And again, perhaps you already have that. We just you need to establish that at the full council level so we can see that.
Okay, we did got approved by the fire department and the water department. It was denied, but then it was approved.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
which one are the other ones?
The other ones, in our citizen serve permit, it talks about the fire building and health. Liza Rosario is the person assigned to it. Also, there is again, fire building and health, firefighter, I think it's Captain Delaney is also under review. Fire building and health under the tax collector's office, that is under review. So all those need to be at least satisfied at the before being voted on at the full council level.
Sure. So what's my part? What do I do?
So what you need to do is make sure that your application is complete, the citizen serve, and then you need to make, you need to get that fully supportive documents with all the sign-offs on it to us, so we can see that, yep, you got them all the sign-offs and you're good to go. And as soon as that happens, I don't think there'll be any problems at the full council level with approving this.
Okay, thank you.
Council de la Cruz, any question?
I have a question. Council President LaPlante, all of those documents, they go internally through the system of the computer. If people are not getting those papers on time, then we have to question what's going on, if there is a delay. Because if they have a delay, then we have a delay and we are unable to send those documents to the full council next Tuesday. Because if they don't get it by that time internally, then we won't be able to approve anything. Then first we need to identify if there is a problem with the sign departments, with the different departments. Then can we send a note to the city clerk for her to update us on that?
I'm not sure, through you, Madam Chair, I'm not sure the city clerk's in charge of this. It's up to the applicant to make sure that everything's on this piece of paper, and it seems as though a lot of the work has already been done. So it's just a matter of making sure that it's printed out the night of the vote. And maybe the motion that I could make is request that the city clerk provide for us an updated citizen serve sheet to show us that all the sign-offs are there. So, with that, I'll make a motion that we send this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation pending the proper sign-offs, and also requesting that the city clerk provide for us an updated citizen serve permit sheet prior to our vote on Tuesday.
Second the motion?
Roll call, please. Council de la Cruz,
Yes?
Council President Malaplan,
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes, absent. Council Estela Reyes, absent. And Council Ana Levy say yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, let me remind something. Do you have speakers?
We're gonna have a small one, yes, it's on the
Okay,
application.
so just make sure that it's towards to you, that's not going anywhere.
Yes,
So it's something that we try to remind to everybody,
yeah, we understand that.
all right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next item in the agenda is item 11822. John Deere licensed Winfield Allow in 15 Medford Street, so by Brandon Tetler.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
May
Eric
I-
Tetler, Winfield, 46 North Shore Road in Derry, New Hampshire.
And I'm Brandon Tetler, same address.
So this is the renew or your license, no?
This is the renewal
Okay.
to go in front of the board.
Okay, for how long are you been here? with
I've
us?
been in the city for 32 years.
For 32 years,
Yeah,
so.
the company's been in business since 78,
Okay.
1978.
Council President LaPlante, do you have any question? Everything is completed?
Madam Chair, it appears that their documents are in order.
Everything is in order?
It appears so, ma'am.
Councilor de la Cruz,
Motion to approve, to send to the full council with favorable recommendation?
do you have any question? Nope. No? No question? So motion to approve? Roll call? Council President LaPlante?
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz?
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes absent. Council Selena Reyes absent. Ana Levy say yes. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
So the next meeting is Tuesday,
Yes.
April the 2nd.
Second, okay,
All right?
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May 2nd, May 2nd. I'm sorry. So the next item in the agenda is May 3rd? Okay, thank you, Council President. So the next item in the agenda is 1/19/22. So the all gold license, Cajoma Joyería, 204 Broadway by Julio Ormaza. Julio Ormaza is present? No? What is that? What is the motion?
Make a motion to table.
Motion to table?
The motion? Second the motion.
Okay. So, Roncor, Councilor de la Cruz,
Yes,
Councilor President Laplan,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes, absent. Councilor Estela Reyes, absent. Councilor Ana Levy say yes. Next item in the agenda, 1/20/22, a stop sign request, 1 North Paris Road by Luis A. Rivera. Mr. Rivera?
I'll make a motion, Madam Chair, that we send this to the police department for their review and report.
Motion is already made.
second.
The motion is already second. Roncor, Council de la Cruz,
Yes,
Council President Marla Plan,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes, absent. Councilor Estela Reyes, absent. Councilor Ana Levy, yes. Next item in the agenda, 1/21/22, handicap parking, 80 Trenton Street by Ana Martinez. What is the motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we send this to the police department for their review and a report.
motion?
Motion is already made. Council de la Cruz, you say?
Second the motion.
So the motion is already made and approved. Roncor, Council de la Cruz,
Yes,
Council President,
Yes.
Council President Malaplan, yes. Council Selena Reyes, absent. Council Estela Reyes, absent. Council Ana Levy say yes. The next item, 1/22/22, Olive in July, anniversary celebration at the Campanon Common on July 9, 22nd, from 2 to 7 p.m. Eulalia Felix,
Yes.
hello.
Hi,
It's
how
a
are you?
pleasure to see you again. I haven't
you.
seen you for a while.
Yes. Can you
Well,
state,
Facebook.
can you state your name and, yes, your name and address, please?
My name is Eulalia Feliz. We are located 599 Canal Street, this is Lawrence, Mass. 01804.
So what is different or what is new this year?
Well, I think there is always things that are different. So you want to do things different, but the same, but the same. I always say it's the same. It is the same, but it's a little bit difficult, a little bit different, but it's the same thing that we're going to do. Celebrate our 13th anniversary with disabled children and low-income family. Is for us a pleasure to do it for this city. And besides that, bring resources to the community, as we always used to, and bring others to join with us to celebrate with them and bring resources as well.
So it's going to be from 2 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have no time, like to get ready, prepare, and get
Well,
everything
I
clean
believe
after?
in the application, we have the setup at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I think if from 11 to 2, we might have, enough space to set everything up at the park, hoping that everybody comes sometime. But you know, you've been there. The last time you were in all my pictures. You started with us at the beginning, and you finished it with us. That was wonderful that
Yeah, no, that
time.
was wonderful, yes.
Yes.
That was a wonderful
Something
celebration.
like that. We're gonna do
with
the
all
same.
children. Yes, I enjoyed
Pretty
it.
much the same. Different people, you might gonna see it.
And different, excuse me, and this times, we're gonna celebrate all theme together. We're gonna bring in a lot of resources for the community. And this time, we're gonna bring about 1,500 backpacks full of the school supplies.
Hey, I don't want to say that.
And
It's a surprise.
Be surprised.
Big surprise.
I just want to surprise everyone. But it's okay, he said it. You know, we always do our toys for the kids, and we're going to have dance, singer, clowns, face painting, what else?
And surprise.
And surprises.
Council President, so the application is completed?
No, it's not. But I will say that they do have on their application a setup time of 11 o'clock and then breakdown times as well. So it's already listed in your application for 11 o'clock to go ahead for the setup, so that's covered. There's a lot that are under review or not approved for this item, but perhaps you've done some work since this was submitted prior to last Thursday, but we will need to, so this is what we're seeing right now. We need to get approvals from Liza Rosario, Pat Ruiz, Pat Delaney, the Tax Collector's Office, the Fire and Health Office Administration, Adelie Gonzalez with Recreation. So there's a lot of things that are missing here, but again, I don't have an updated sheet, so you might have more information. Okay.
The old one, I mean, the new one.
Thank you.
That was a mistake. I was early here today because I heard that someone was missing to approve it, and the printout is here with all the approval. I can hand them out to you guys.
Yes.
I was ready here. I
That is,
pick it up to make sure you have everything all set for tonight.
that is great, thank you.
All the approvals appear to be in place, Madam Chair, so I don't have any questions, and I'm prepared to present this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Council de la Cruz, do you have any question?
Yes, I raised my hands. Do you see my hands up?
Yes,
I
yes.
can see you.
I would like to
I'm
say
glad to see
Eulalia.
you. Since pandemic, everybody's been in their own world, I'm gonna say.
I would like to say thank you one more time for Olive in July to do a wonderful party in our community and to celebrate the difference. Not what people says it is the difference. I would say that is a very, very happy party. Then
Yes.
thank you for doing that and motion to send to the full council.
And
We
we
appreciate
The
appreciate that.
motion was already
Invite.
made.
They all invite.
invite.
Council de la Cruz, motion was already made by Council President LaPlante. But before I want to say just a little reminder regarding the speakers. And also any car can be, okay, you can bring the car inside just to drop any things that you want to do it in there, but after you have to move also the car. It's not only to you, it's for everybody. Okay,
Correct.
but congratulations that we are getting back again, and I
Thank you.
always enjoy.
Thank goodness.
You know that you
And
guys
thank
are
you for
invited.
everything that you do. Yeah, thank you for everything that you do.
Together we are better.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So, council, okay, motion is already made. Roll call, Council de la Cruz,
Yes,
Council President LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Celina Reyes, absent, Council Estela Reyes, absent, and Council Levy say yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you next Tuesday.
Have a wonderful night.
So the next, I'm sorry, I'm just asking for some water.
She forgot some information there. Okay.
So the next item on the agenda is item 12322. So traffic management during construction operation permit process. Rule and regulations. This is by Councilor Rodriguez. So Councilor Rodriguez is not in here. What is the motion?
Madam Chair, the motion is to table because I'm not sure exactly what the councilor is looking to achieve with this. I'd like to make a motion to table and to perhaps invite the councilor to the next ordinance committee
For the
meeting.
next ordinance committee. Councilor de la Cruz.
Second,
So Ron Cole, Councilor de la Cruz.
yes.
Councilor President Laplan.
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes absent. Councilor Selena Reyes absent. Councilor Ana Levy say yes. The next item in the agenda is the resolution to accept Lauren lithograph gift from former City Councilor James J. Doe by President Laplan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One of our colleagues, many years ago, Councilor Jay Dowd, is very involved, loves our city, still is involved in our city as a trustee of the library, for example, and he will be providing for us a lithograph gift that he is asking us to accept and to hang in the city council office. And so like any gifts that we would receive, we need to accept it. So this is on the council agenda to accept the gift. It is a very beautiful lithograph of the machine shop back, it's over 140 years ago. It's a copy of it, it's not the original. But I think if we accept it, I'm sure we'll hang it with great pride. And I'll invite Councilor Dowd to the full city council so he can talk to the entire council just briefly about the lithograph, and he can actually formally give it to us.
That should be excited to see it. Councilor de la Cruz, any question?
Motion to send to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Ron Cole? No more questions, so Council President Mark Laplan,
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council Selena de la Reyes, Council Selena Reyes absent, Council Estela Reyes absent, Council Ana Levy say yes. The next item, 13022, this is the platform outreach minister at the Campanone Common on August 26th and August 27th. And this is going to be from 1 to 6 p.m. Are anyone present in here for that item? Nobody here, so what is the
Madam Chair,
Your motion?
yeah, Madam Chair, there's a couple of items that are under review that have not been approved. They are looking to have this in August. I think it's important that if you're going to ask for a permit, especially if it's not completed, that you be here to explain. So I'd like to make a motion to table.
motion to table?
Second,
So the motion is already second. Ron Cole, Council President Laplan,
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz,
yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes is absent. Councilor Selena Reyes is absent, and Councilor Levy say yes. The next item on the agenda is item 13122, the Dream Network Basketball at the O'Connor Park by Stacy Siwa. Can you? Okay. Yes, Councilor De La Cruz?
I would like to speak on behalf of Stacy Store because they are in a meeting at this moment. They are in a basketball meeting, and I would like to make a presentation on her behalf. This is Stacy Stewart from the Dream Network. I hope all is well. I just learned about, they just learned that they have to come to this meeting, but they have a conflict with the event that they already have, a basketball game. As you know, this is the people that were working with the training school and with the people that were working with the incarcerated. They've been doing so well in the community, and they wanted to continue to give back to the community. And they wanted to attract more young people to do basketball, and that's why they asking for that day. I don't know if the paper are in place together. She just asked me to let the council know that they have a very important basketball game tonight that they couldn't miss, but in their behalf that we send this to the full council. I would like to ask Council President LaPlante if they have all the papers in place.
Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, the answer is there seems to be one item missing. But again, this may have been done last week, so they may already have it, so this is maybe an old list. So my recommendation would be to do what we've done in the past, is to send this up pending that all the sign-offs are completed and we get that in time for our meeting on Tuesday.
So, Mrs. Stacy also sent me. Okay. Ms. De La Cruz? Councilor De La Cruz?
Yes, motion to send to the full council pending the documents as Mr. LaPlante, Council President LaPlante mentioned.
Before I call for the wrong call, I want to say also that Ms. Seward, she sent me a note just asking me to do the presentation. I'm glad that you received it. That's the same no from her. But I went to the graduation about 3 years ago when the first part of the program started, and it was so wonderful to see all of these young people getting graduated and being there and receiving their diploma also. So that was very nice to see. So motion is already made and second, Councilor De La Cruz.
I put the motion.
Yes, I say, I'm just calling your name now. The wrong call. Councilor President LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes is absent. Councilor Estela Reyes is absent. Councilor Levy say yes. So the next item in the agenda. I would like to ask if anyone here is for any table item that we have. Okay. So, what is your item, please?
35, me?
Yeah.
3522 and 8622.
35,
85 and 86.
85, and 86. That is the. Okay. So, can you stand and come in front of us, please?
Sorry.
Please state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Jose Davila, 35 Common Street.
Madam Chair, would it be in order to take document number 8522 out of order?
So move.
The motion?
Roll call, please. Council de la Cruz.
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Selena Reyes is absent. Council President de la Plan.
Yes.
Council Ana Levy say yes. So motion already made it. So item 85, Christmas lighting at the O'Neill Park, 11/19/22 by José Dávila, Instituto Cultural de Puerto Rico.
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
We are to celebrate for the second time, for second year, right? Our Christmas lighting in the O'Neill Park, and we're going to make the same celebration from 11/19, but that's the date that we're gonna
Lighting.
have the lighting. So we forgot to put in the application that we need one
Sign for the setup.
month in advance to set up everything, because we got a lot of decoration to connect in the park, you know. We was meeting with Mayor Brian De Peña, and we're gonna have another meeting to set up the electricity and everything for that day. But it's the same for the, we're going to provide another decoration, but it's similar.
Well, it's gonna be a little bit more
Yeah.
from last year.
Council President of Plan, everything is completed. I don't see the times in here, so I don't know if being
Yeah, it's
the application.
November 19.
November.
It's 5 p.m. Can you explain to her that we're gonna start at 5 p.m.?
Well, the activity is gonna begin that day. The lighting is gonna begin at 5 o'clock in the night. But as last year, we're gonna extend until January 14. It's gonna be like almost 2 months.
So you're gonna start lighting at 5 p.m.?
Yes, that
Okay,
day on
that's
November
the
19.
day. Okay, so to making the setup, is gonna be early on that day, or it's gonna be?
No, actually, the setup, we're gonna be bringing all the decorations with time, because we are expecting a lot more from last year. Actually, during the summer, we're gonna be working, and we're gonna have workshops to create like the houses, like the front of the houses that we're gonna be doing. So all that, we're gonna need time to put it in the park. So we are asking that if it's possible that we can begin to work like a month ahead to have everything set up for this day, like last year that we have.
Councilor, any question?
Madam Chair?
Council de la Cruz?
Motion to send to the full council with favorable recommendation?
Discussion.
Discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it appears that everything's in order, all the sign-offs are there. So some good news, in your application, and I would encourage us to modify this, in your application, you begin setup on August the 19th, it says on here, and you complete it and break down on January the 7th. Now, that seems a long time to do, and so I would encourage perhaps a motion to narrow that. You said you only needed 1 month
Yes,
for the setup, so I would,
so it's gonna be October.
so I would change that a permit to allow for you to have that. Clearly, I mean, it's a lot of faith there that everybody who gave the approval checked the chart to make sure there's no conflicts, right? So there's a lot of faith that that's been done. But if that's all true, I would. You're looking for the date of the November the 19th is the actual event.
Yes.
So you would maybe look at October the 19th for
Yes,
begin the
around,
setup.
yes.
And then I think it'd be nice, how long do you need it afterwards? How long?
Well, it's gonna be until January 14, because in Puerto Rico, Christmas ends very close to that, is Octavitas. And actually, we are known by the people that has the longest Christmas in the world. So actually ends around January 20th with a long festival, La Sanse. But
Just so you're aware, your permit only goes to the 7th and not the 20th. Is there a reason why in the
no,
permit?
it's until the 14th, so probably we have to look at that. We're gonna end January 14.
The documents that I have in front of me, and I'm happy to show it to you, list January the 7th, 2023.
Okay, we need to check that.
Unless you have something different, and usually it's not that important, but what happens if somebody else already has the park
Yes.
after that date? I want to make sure that you have that. Would you like for me to show you what I'm seeing? Madam Chair, would that be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's here. It's 1/7/2023?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typically, through you, Madam Chair, we would send this, not typically, I just don't know what else is being used at that field, and what I don't want to do is double book something. I don't know what the schedule is like at O'Neill Park, hypothetically, in mid-January. So I would ask through you, Madam Chair, I would ask the sponsor of the motion to perhaps, maybe we can table it, make the corrections on, we have some time, make some corrections on, and then bring it back to the full council for exactly what you're looking for.
We don't got problem with that, yeah.
Council de la Cruz, can you make the amendment to table until they finalize the application and change the date?
My question will be to them, Ms. Levy, can you ask them, do they have different activities in between that they put it on their application, or they haven't done that yet?
But actually, we are expecting like January 6th to have the Three Kings Day celebration, and on the 14th is the Octavitas. It's another very important day. Those are the most important that we need. If we can have until the 20th, that is the end of Christmas in Puerto Rico, will be perfect, so we can close with something simple for the kids and people that gets together on that day. But the most important one is to finish the 14th.
So, and you are thinking to do this in the park?
Yes.
Inside.
Yes, Council de la Cruz.
4 activities in one, or it is just one or 2 activities?
We are expecting to have different activities.
No, I'm telling her that it's 2 activities that you are thinking to do.
For the dates that, because during the time that we're gonna have the park, we are expecting to have like games with the kids. We're gonna be reading books and doing activities in the park. We're gonna create a snowman if the weather permits, that probably yes. And so we have different activities during all the time that we're gonna be in the park. And also, you know, like we have some days that we go, like Santa Claus can be there and take pictures with the kids, and days that we're gonna be just giving chocolate and coffee or giving small gifts. So during that time, we're gonna have different activities that it's a very long list. But the dates that we don't have included in here, so that are important, one, it's the Octavitas Day that we celebrate on the 14th. And if it's possible to finish like a little sense, maybe we can have a little get together, something simple, not that big, to close and begin to take everything out that day on the 20th.
Council de la Cruz, any other question?
Then, if any mistake on the paper, is any signature that they need?
No, there is no missing signature right now. What is being missing is the the last part that they are requesting up to the 20 of January 2023. So the application is just only up to January the 7th, and they need to extend the time, but that is why it's a friendly amendment to the motion to change it from to the 7th to the 23. That's why we need to table while they fix the application.
Second, to table the matter, to table the document.
Second.
So, okay, it's gonna be tabled.
Okay.
So until you fix it, and then, so we can come into the next ordinance committee, so that we can send it to the full council.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
Roll call, please. Council President LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent, Council Selena Reyes is absent, Council Ana Levy is present. They just say yes. So motion to table?
We voted for the motion. That was the
Okay.
motion.
Thank you.
Next item.
Okay.
86, they have one more, 8622.
Oh, we have the
I'd
80s.
like to take document 8622 out of order, off the table matters.
Second,
So item 2622 is taken out of the table. Family Tracking Field Sport Day is going to be on 5/21/2022 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the O'Connor Park by Jose Davila.
Okay.
Roll call. Council De La Cruz,
yes.
Council LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Selena Reyes absent. Council Ana Levy say yes, present.
Okay, I want to clarify that it's not in the O'Connell part.
It's not on the O'Connor Park?
No, and in the application, show, Osgo Street, that's on Veteran Stadium in South Lawrence.
Council President, please.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Because we do,
Okay.
Last year was
Last year.
there in the
All right.
O'Connell.
So we're going to fix the problem. Council President?
Madam Chair, so thank you. So is it in the stadium, or is it at Sullivan Park? Where are you having it? It's not on the street, or is it?
no, we're gonna do it in the Veteran Stadium.
You're going to be in the stadium?
Inside, yeah.
Okay.
It's with collaboration with City of Lawrence and Recreation Department too. We have, yesterday, we have a meeting with Brian De Peña and the staff. We are working on that day.
Madam Chair, their application seems to be in order, and apparently that all that needs to be changed, Madam Chair, is the title on the agenda, because the permit is accurate. So if through you, if we could make that change.
Yes, yes. So the city clerk is doing the change right now. Council De La Cruz, any?
Send to the full council.
So the motion is to send it to the full council with all recommendation. Okay. Strong call. Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Ana Levy, yes. Council Selena Reyes absent. Council Estela Reyes absent. It's already approved. So
thank you.
I see you on Tuesday.
Right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Right.
Okay, so any other item that need to be here, okay?
Excuse me, we have an item over the table here.
Okay,
Want to take them first?
okay. You are up right now. Come on.
Fair enough.
What is the item?
This is the item for TMF, the Movement Family. I don't have an agenda, so I don't know what item number it is. I know it was tabled from the last meeting,
Yes.
so it might be under tabled matters.
Madam Chair, it's document 75B 22.
Yes.
I'd like to take,
the
I'd like to,
first item.
I'd like to take a motion to take this off the table.
Motion. Already second by Maria de la Cruz, Alcánzalo de la Cruz. So item 75B at 22 is out of table. Request for the temporary use of the Buckley Garage by Mayor Brian De Peña. Roll call. Council President Laplan,
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes absent, Council Selena Reyes absent, Council Ana Levy say yes. Good evening.
Okay, so Tom Duggan, 75 Main Street, North Andover. We came before the City Council a couple of weeks ago to talk about the Movement Family, TMF, using the Buckley Garage for their Wednesday night dinners for the homeless. And the council was gracious enough to give us, I think, a 60 or a 90-day. I can't remember if it was 60 or 90 because my brain just can't retain it. And then you asked us to come back to talk about the particulars. We initially asked for a 2-year permit. I know that there's an objection to 2 years because I guess that's never been done by other people. So we're here tonight to discuss with you guys how we can get this extended for however long we can. What we're looking for ultimately is 2 years. So if you gave us 6 months or you gave us 3 months or whatever you gave us, we would have to keep coming back until such time as we were settled into a piece of property. TMF is looking at trying to get property so that we're not doing this outside, we're not doing it in the elements. But as you know, because you're a government body, once we would even purchase a building or have a building donated, there's a million permits that you have to go through at the state level, at the federal level, because it's a homeless shelter, you know, egresses and exits and all that stuff. So once that actually happens, I don't know that we're going to be able to move in right away. So we're asking the council to work with us. We're asking for temporarily to allow us to be at the bus station until such time as we can find indoors to be able to do this on a permanent basis. I know the Councilor Plant had mentioned, I think, at one of the previous meetings, or maybe just when we were chatting, that there are some buildings and there is some space available right now that TMF could be using. And I think somebody even suggested one of the schools that's being used by Isabel Melendez's group. Again, to do that temporarily, we would have to get all kinds of approvals from the state. There's all kinds of regulations because it would be a homeless shelter. We'd be feeding people. It would be a homeless shelter. I talked to Karina Papalato. The paperwork that she's had to go through just to keep that thing going is monumental. All we're asking for is an extension of the 60 or 90 days that you guys have for whatever time that you can give it for us to continue using the Buckley Garage. We have a written agreement with the mayor's office that the TMF group will make sure that it is clean when we're done. I know that the last time there were some complaints about the dirt after we left. Quite frankly, as someone who went back afterwards when everything was done, TMF always cleaned that lot, always. It was always cleaner than it was when we showed up. The problem that we were having back then was that there were homeless people sleeping at the Buckley Garage. So no matter how clean we made it after we left, homeless people would show up there to sleep after we left. And the following morning, bus drivers would come in and find needles or feces or something that was left over and would blame TMF. So we've got a commitment from a gentleman named Kevin Druin, who's going to go through at 12 o'clock after everything's over with his drug dog, and he did that last week and posted it on Facebook. We have a commitment from Mike Gorman, who's here, who can answer any of your questions, to make sure that it is clean when we're done. I think we have to ask for an extension of an hour on the original thing that we asked for, because we didn't realize that the MVRTA's last bus that leaves that facility or comes back to that facility is at like 7:45, which doesn't really give them a lot of time, 15 minutes to set up for the 8 o'clock time that we used to serve. So we may need to go 8 to 12, possibly, if that's possible. But we're at your mercy to recommend to the full council an extension of the temporary permit to use the Buckley Garage for the Wednesday night dinners for the homeless. I know I probably talked too much, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and we have Team F is here to answer any questions if you want.
Council de la Cruz?
What is the name of the person who is there?
Tommy?
Oh, this is Tom Duggan,
Friend.
the man you love.
Thank you for becoming a grandfather to that group.
Thank you.
I love to see the effort, and I love to see it's a community effort working together to make a difference. My motion will be, do you have all the things that you were talking about in place? Do you have all the requests that you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that we can discuss that at the council meeting on Tuesday?
Did we submit? Did we submit something in writing as to what our agreement was to the council? No. That's what we were. So can we get them that either for next meeting? I'm sorry, Octavian can answer that better than I can.
Okay.
Good evening, Octavian Spanner, 200 Common Street. Good evening, councilors. When we first met with TMF, our agreement was that, well, first of all, the mayor was kind of hesitant to accept the proposal. But after conversations that we had with the leaders of the group, the mayor decided, made a different decision under the understanding that we will have, if approved by the council, we will have an agreement in which we will include the cleanup of the property. We would include if there's restrooms that are available, the time limit, the hours, and so forth, and then also a requirement that we had was to have insurance, correct? To have insurance, the organization must have insurance, liability insurance. And once that is in place, then they will, if approved by the council, then they will be accepted.
Council?
What would be the motion at this moment?
Did she make the motion? Is that what she's asking?
Okay. Did you make a motion?
A motion to send to the full council to be discussed.
Motion to send it to the full.
Discussion right here.
Discussion.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So through you, Madam Chair, this evening, we have seen a number of people asking for permits and licenses, and there is a procedure that if you sat in the audience tonight, you're now a little bit more familiar than when you were before you came in, and there's this thing called CitizenServe that requires that we go forward and go through the various departments to make sure that things are copacetic, that there's a whole bunch of different checkoffs and approvals. I'm not seeing, perhaps there's submitted one. Does the proponent and the sponsor, do they have the CitizenServe materials this evening?
No, I don't think that was ever provided to us. So this would be, we would have to go to each department head and have different sign-offs for whatever they might be in charge of.
Through you, Madam Chair, it's a little bit easier than that.
Okay.
Because now it's electronic.
Oh, excellent.
And so now you don't have to physically come into City Hall and traipse through every department. You can do this on your computer, and it's electronic. But we have none of that here, and we're talking about offering a permit. The request is for 2 years, and we don't have anything. That, for you can understand how we would want to be equal and treat people fairly.
You know, we want to go through the process. We're not looking to skirt anything. We want to do everything right. I think at the very beginning, when they originally set up 4 or 5 years ago at the bus stop, it was just a bunch of kids who were trying to feed the homeless. They had no idea that they needed permits, and they had to go to get sign-offs and come to the city. And they were just doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They were going through the city, they were going jogging every day, seeing all these homeless people and said, you know, all these government bodies that are meeting, having meetings about meetings, they're not solving anything. Let's just bring them some food. Let's give them a sandwich and a blanket and a sweater. And it kind of grew from that. So I don't think that was ever really the intent of the group. But we're happy to go through whatever process it is that you think that's important for us to keep doing this. I think it's a monumentally important thing. I live in North Andover, and I have friends that live in Methuen. And when we service the homeless on a Wednesday, when they service the homeless on a Wednesday night, we ask people where they're from. There's an awful lot of people from Andover, North Andover, Methuen, who are in Lawrence, who are homeless, mostly because those communities, my community, doesn't offer anything for the homeless. I mean, if you live your whole life in North Andover, you want $1 million home, and then your company goes under, or your wife divorces you, you end up on the street, and you have nothing. North Andover offers nothing for their citizens. Andover and Methuen offer almost nothing for their citizens. So their citizens end up coming here. And I know that that's one of the problems that some of the elected officials in Lawrence have. They don't want to be attracting more homeless people, but they're already here, and they're already hungry, and they're already cold. And these young volunteers just decided on their own to go out and do something about that. And with the city's blessing, we'd like to keep doing it.
Madam Chair, through you, so there was some discussion regarding insurance. There was discussion regarding some sort of agreements that were done with respect to cleaning up.
Yes.
Just as a reminder, Madam Chair, we work very closely and very well with the mayor's office. Excellent. But the city council is the permitting authority.
Okay.
So while the information may be with the mayor, the council needs to review it.
Yes.
Because it's not the mayor issuing the permit, it's the city council that's issuing the permits.
Well, we went to the mayor first this time because it was the previous mayor that put the kibosh on this. It was the previous mayor that said, no, you can't do this anymore. And so we wanted to make sure before we went through the process of going through the council and filling out paperwork and getting insurance and doing all the things that we were going to have to do, some of which we didn't even know, we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to get blocked up in the mayor's office once we finished doing all that. So we wanted to sit down with Octavian and the mayor and Jackie and whoever else was up there and give them the vision of what they were trying to do and make sure that we weren't going to just waste our time going through all these permits and wasting your time and coming before you only to have the mayor say no at the end of the day. So we just wanted to make sure we had that in place, which is why we sat down. But it was so productive that we ended up putting a written agreement together. So I don't want you to think we were going around you. We were not.
Again, through you, Madam Chair. So I think it's important that this committee, who's the review committee, before sending things on up to the full council, gets copies of whatever insurance binders are been part of the agreement, the various agreements from very good and well-meaning individuals who are dedicating their time. I mean, you mentioned a couple of names of folks. One of them I happen to know, and very good people, right? Very, very good people. But we need, if part of this permit is based on the fact that these individuals are doing this work, we need to make sure that there's a commitment besides, yeah, I'll clean it up after such and such, or yeah, I'll be there. There needs to be some sort of accountability.
Absolutely.
For that. And so I would encourage for a vote of this committee and perhaps the full council that the paperwork, including those things, be in order.
Okay.
And that we treat this organization like we treat every other organization, and we don't do anything differently. I understand the dynamics here, but we should be doing things fairly and equitably throughout.
All for it.
Yeah, 100%. I do have other, that's just on the formality and process, Madam Chair. I don't have a chance to speak like this at the full council level because typically I have a gavel and the chair is unable to speak and give his opinions when he has the gavel. So
all right, let me have it.
This is my opportunity to actually give some opinions and some thoughts now because I will not be able to do so with the full council. It's not because I don't want to, it's just because the rules forbid me to. So the challenge I think we're facing here forget about the process, you know the process, just underlying here. And this is a struggle that our city has. There's perhaps a redundancy, and then there's this cycle that you kind of captured, Mr. Duggan, in your comments. The city of Lawrence somehow feels responsible to take care of a lot of issues that our neighboring communities have decided to not do.
Right.
Is it fair to the city of Lawrence and its taxpayers and its residents to step it up so much so that neighboring and other communities are not doing it? Where is the equity there? Our city has plenty of challenges. Open up any newspaper on any day, and the challenges are staring at you right in the face. And now, do a quick spin on social media, you'll hear 1 million people talking about all the problems and why Lawrence is such a challenging city. Where are the neighboring communities to help out with the fantastic mission that you have? Where are they?
They're absent, Counselor.
And that's
They're
my
absent.
point.
They don't want it in their backyard. By the way, for the same reason, not to get on a soapbox, but for the same reason that the state reps who represent those communities constantly want to shovel money into Lawrence, and constantly want to shovel programs into Lawrence, and constantly want to shove every social experiment into Lawrence, because they want to keep it out of their communities. And I share your frustration. I say it all the time. I say it at Board of Selectmen meetings in North Andover, and I've chastised Methuen for it. And I totally agree with you, but in the meantime, they're still hungry, and they're hungry now, and they're still cold, and they're cold now. And we've got an apparatus where we've got volunteers from Lawrence helping people in Lawrence. Let me just say one more thing. You know, I was thinking about this because Dan Rivera and I had a big back and forth about this when this first started. And his objection was, you know, he didn't want to take care of other people's problems from other communities, as you and I have both stated tonight. But, you know, a good 70% of the people who live in Lawrence who live in homes aren't from Lawrence. A good 70% of the people who are here asking for permits or going to Semana Hispana or owning businesses, you know, a lot of them aren't even from this country. A large majority of them are from other countries, and we don't turn them away because they're not from here. And I agree with you that sometimes if you build it, they will come. But I will tell you that, and I'll give you a rough ballpark figure, and I'll even lowball it for you, that since I've been involved with TMF, they've gotten over 40 people off the streets, into detox, into transitional housing, with very few turnover of them coming back. Yes, some of them fail and they come back. But the vast majority, TMF is actually getting people off the street. It's not just a dinner. We have Tewksbury Detox comes every single week. We have other detoxes and other groups come every single week to offer counseling, to offer them beds if they need them. If they're ready and they say, right now, I'm addicted and I want to get clean, we can take them that night. We can put them in a car, or the following morning put them in a car, and we can get them into a bed because they have relationships with Tewksbury Detox and the other detox centers. So I don't disagree with any of what you've said, and I certainly didn't even disagree with Dan Rivera, except that, you know, we're all looking for the long-term solution. We're all looking for Methuen to step up. We're all looking for Andover and North Andover to step up. But in the meantime, while they're not stepping up, we have human beings who are cold and hungry. And we're not asking for the government to pay for it. We're not asking the government to put a committee together to fund it. We're just asking if we can use a piece of property so that these volunteers can do it 100% with private donations, 100% with private food, and 100% with private effort and sweat.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to table and then to go into a brief recess.
Okay, can I say one thing before we do?
I'd like to make we'll come back. I'd like to make a motion to table and then come into a brief recess.
Motion to reset.
Table.
And table item 75B22. Roll call. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Malaplan.
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes is absent. Councilor Selena Reyes is absent. And Councilor Levy says yes.
Brief recess, right? Brief.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor President Lamar LaPlante,
Yes.
Councilor Celina Reyes is absent, Councilor Estela De La Cruz is absent,
Oh, she's here.
Councilor Ana Levy say yes. Okay.
I think Jill wanted something to say, she wanted to say before we...
Hi, Jill Stacklin, Oak Street, Methuen. You had spoken about other communities taking their fair share. While I completely agree with you, I just want to let you know that TMF, we have brought in other school departments. We've had Austin Prep, we've had St. John's, we've had Central Catholic, Lawrence High School. When I first was introduced to TMF, I was told by somebody who knew of TMF, they said, bring your clothes down, drop them off, and get out. It's dangerous. And I said, okay. So I went down there, and I saw a bunch of kids down there, and they were feeding the homeless. And it was a spectacular thing to see your Lawrence kids doing such a fabulous job. And it made Lawrence a little less scary. And I think bringing in these other communities and other schools, we're showing these other students to bring it back. This generation might not, want to accept it, but we're showing other schools and other young kids how to accept, the homeless and how to help them. And they don't have to go in to Lawrence. They're going to eventually take over. And Michael can tell you, he's had calls from all over the country because TMF is going to be a pilot program. And I'll let Michael tell you about other groups that want to model from TMF.
Yeah, so obviously always grateful to be able to kind of, name is Michael.
Please, your name and address.
Yeah, Michael, 826 Riverside Drive, Methuen. Yeah, just to kind of follow up with Jill Stacklin was saying, yeah, I get mind blown, just thinking of the other places across the country that have reached out. Just this recent week, a high school in Newark, New Jersey, that feels like they have a homelessness and addiction problem in their own city, reached out asking if they could start something in their own transit unit, either their bus station or train station, to be able to supply food and resources to the homeless. And we're asking if I could actually go out there for a flight they would pay for to be able to kind of explain the process and also try to engage the students in regards to what we do over here. I'm just, looking for support from our own, city councilors to be able to continue to believe in what we're doing. Like I said, a lot of these members, even the TMF members from the inner city, a lot of them going through their own struggles and battles, just lending a hand and trying to fight for what they believe in. And I'm just hoping that we can get this extension for a period of time to be able to continue getting people off the streets of Lawrence. And that approach is because we try to build that relationship with them. Not just handing the food and the sandwich and take care, but more of the, get to know your name, your story, and then hopefully within a few weeks maybe take that step in trying a program. And it's worked. Now we have another resource, Recovery Journey Services, who, man, in the last, I would say, month, I would say between 5 and 6 people off the streets of Lawrence and sent to a sober house in Dorchester, sent over to New Bedford, a detox, and Community Health Link in Worcester, Massachusetts. And 2 of those people were actually in the streets of Lawrence for 2 straight years. So it shows me that it is working. So thank you for having me here. Appreciate it.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
It's just rare that I get a microphone, so I hope that I can use it a little bit more and I just have this conversation. So through you again, thank you.
Thank you.
So, listen, I don't, there is no doubt in my mind that the work that has been done here is effective. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's well received and appreciated, and people are feeling, are in a much better place. There's no doubt about that. The question that I have, we first of all dispute one thing. We talk about people who are hungry. We have amazing, effective, efficient, top-notch food kitchens in this city, whether it's Cor Unum, which feeds twice a day. So there is no reason for anybody in the city of Lawrence to be hungry. Zero. When you get a breakfast and a dinner at a restaurant setting, there is no reason. As well as on the north side, I think is it the Good Shepherd?
Yes.
I'm not as familiar with them, but by reputation, they do a very good job. So the food aspect of it, to me, doesn't resonate as much because I know those options and outlets are available. The part of it that I'm looking for in many of our nonprofits is to see, rather than have redundancies, is to see where we can partner with people. To find out, you saw several churches today who are preachers who are involved in the movement of God in the city of Lawrence, and finding out they have the same mission in many respects, don't they? To help the less fortunate, provide aid and assistance, preach the good gospel, right? And work through that. Many of these individuals in churches and organizations have roofs and places. And my question 3 or 4 years ago in the Rivera administration remains true today. What outreach has been done to see what kind of partnerships can be done where you're able to do the work, synthesize your organizations, and work toward a common goal, rather than saying, we need the bus stop, where buses are there, where the police chief didn't think that was a great idea 4 years ago, where the MVRTA had some concerns, at least 4, whatever the years ago now it's been. Why doesn't an organization that has so much cachet now work with another organization? I'd love to hear the response through you.
Yeah,
Madam Chair.
I definitely respect everything you said. So you have, I've studied the streets of Lawrence for the past 10 years because I was so intrigued with the city. So you obviously do have Bread and Roses, you have Good Shepherd, and you have Cor Unum, 3 amazing soup kitchens where you can go and find a meal probably 3 times throughout the day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I get that, but I'm also a clinician, and we are more of a meet the patient, where they're at, so we go to them. Yeah, you have the soup kitchen there, but not everyone always goes. We're also really creative in the sense of what we bring to a dinner. We might say, yeah, homeless and cold, but it's way more than just the food aspect. We are very creative. We have guest speakers that come and tell their story of how they were able to get out of the addiction, to break the cycle. You don't have that all those soup kitchens. We have a books table where someone can come and read a book. We have a donations table where they can come and grab some clothes. And I've been to all those soup kitchens, amazing meals, but you pretty much eat and you go back to where you're staying. So you come to this dinner on Wednesday nights, and you also have 2 detoxes. You build a relationship with somebody, you'd be surprised. They might go say hello to that case manager for the first time and ask about the program. Gotta be quite honest, I've been to all 3 soup kitchens. They don't have programs there saying, hey, wanna go to detox right now? No. You'd have to call Tewksbury Detox yourself and find a ride there. I used to work at Tewksbury Detox. I know how that works. I also am a clinician at a methadone clinic. If you don't walk through the door that day and do the whole intake, see you later. We literally take you from the bus station where no buses are running between 9 and 11 p.m. because they do stop at a specific time, and we bring you directly to the facility there. And we also bring in happiness. It's raining, you've been out there for years, shame and guilt is all built up in your heart, no one believes in you anymore, and you have sometimes a magician, or you sometimes have haircuts where you can feel self-love again for the first time, where you have this female right here who used to give manicures for someone just to feel beautiful again for the first time. All those little things that we do on that one specific night of the week, it builds trust, it builds hope. They start to believe again, and you're getting people from different communities that might be in the city out of Lawrence. So those soup kitchens, amazing. I love all 3 of them. I personally, when I was 19 years old, didn't know how a soup kitchen ran, so I actually took a seat and I had a meal myself because I wanted to know how it was. So I sat into Cor Unum, Bread and Roses, I grabbed a seat, and I sat like I was just one of them. But all those things that I just mentioned, they're not at the soup kitchen. So they can go and grab a meal 3 times a week. Hey, I'm fed, don't know what to do in the rest of the day. We have all that stuff there at the bus station. No buses are running. We keep the place immaculate, and people are getting off the street. So that's kind of my feedback to what you mentioned right there.
The other thing, through Madam Chair, and thank you for your patience on this, you didn't really answer the question regarding partnerships. You did a little bit, but you touched on it, but I don't know what kind of outreach there was. We're going to put that aside for a moment. The other part that no one talks about is what happens at the end. When we walked the rail trail this past weekend and we see the old homelessness areas and not shelters, but encampments throughout. And what we see are people bringing in, whether it's food, whether it's towels, whether it's blankets, whether it's clothes, and there's nobody everybody feels like they're doing a great thing, but then we as a city have all a bunch of stuff. What is it that your organization is doing to move the needle in the other directions where you're saying we're going to provide this, this, and this, and be the organization that leads by example and says, we're actually going to start cleaning up some of these things and try to bring a sense of pride throughout the entire city? Because I'm not sure if you noticed, we are struggling as a city and as a community to make sure that we're clean, that we don't have the illegal dumping, that we don't have the trash that's going around there, and the city's doing what it can as a municipality, but it is unable to do it all by itself. It needs partnerships with individuals to go ahead and be a role in that. So I'm just curious, from your perspective, what are you doing, what is your organization doing to help move the needle in the other direction that I've just described?
Yeah, so I'm going to hand it off to Tom, but you know what I do want to say, dating back to my last 10 years of, you can mention the rail trail. I've studied the rail trail from, I've probably been down West Street Park behind those railroad tracks for years. I've seen it all. Manchester Street Park, seen it all. Every encampment site, I've seen it all. But I also feel like we're providing a lot on one night a week, but we're continuously doing outreach at the same time where we're going to see all those different places. But all those places have been honestly forgotten about for years. Like, I'm talking like years, like where I have not seen anybody actually touch under some of those places into the bridge besides the Casey Bridge. The middle bridge is the only place that I've really seen touched upon of cleaning up.
Good for you for calling it the Casey Bridge. It's got 3 points right there. Continue.
Trying. But I'm going to have Tom hand it over in regards to kind of like the outreach of encampments.
You know, it's a separate issue, but it's not. One of the things that we notice, what most people don't know about TMF is after they're done at the bus stop or wherever they were for the last 2 years on the lot, when they pack up and they go home, Mike's mom, Nancy, takes all the leftover food, any blankets and stuff that's left over, and drives around to all the different homeless encampments to make sure anybody who couldn't make it at least gets an opportunity at a hot meal and maybe a blanket if they need it. In doing that, we've noticed, especially over at Manchester Park, behind La Frutera, that there becomes this growing mound of garbage that the homeless end up producing because, you know, they're not living the life we are. They're not taking it out to the trash can and waiting for the city to come pick it up. So during the first meeting that we had, that Michael and I had with the mayor and Octavian, we talked about that. And we talked about, as a side thing, not to go along with what the dinners, but we've spoken to all of the people at all of these encampments. Every single one of them have said, we don't mind cleaning up our area. We don't mind getting rid of dirty blankets or wet clothes or things that have been left here by other people. But we put it in a mound, we put it all in one place, and the city won't come pick it up. So we've got a commitment now, because we've been meeting and talking ongoing since our first meeting with Michael and with the mayor's office, to partner with the homeless themselves, have them clean up their own areas, let us know what it is that they need as far as bags, as far as boxes. We don't have to give them rakes, we don't have to give them shovels, they've got their own stuff. They're willing to clean it up, but what they need is, they need some help from the city's DPW to go and clean up whatever that mound of garbage tends to be. I mean, if you're a person who just got here from Chelmsford yesterday, you end up at Manchester Park, and there's this big mound of garbage from people who lived there before you. You're not responsible for it, but you also want to sleep in a clean area. and they'll clean their own area, and they'll make a pile of, they'll push the garbage over to one side so it can be picked up. We just need the city to partner with us to clean it up. And the mayor has committed to working with the homeless and working through TMF with the homeless to try and get some of that garbage cleaned up.
My last point, and then I'll, thank you, Madam. I honestly, because we can continue all night. So there was an expectation that the city, government, taxpayers' dollars are going to pick up through the DPW this waste.
Yeah, that's,
Stop for one moment, and I'll listen. Why not, if we are so dedicated, when I say we, nonprofit community is so dedicated toward this stewardship, if you will, of our environment, of our city, why can't there be some sort of symbiotic relationship where there is a dumpster that is purchased, and through the nonprofits, through the money that's being raised, why not have that stuff go there? Why burden the taxpayers of the city of Lawrence for further using the DPW to pick up stuff that, let's face it, those folks that are there, of no fault of, I don't know, I'm not going to speak to why they're there, but we do know they're not paying the taxes. We do know that, and for obvious reasons. And we do know there's a lot of other people who are doing that, and there's a reason why the services aren't there. But boy, wouldn't it be a fantastic, as you're talking to the Newarks, if you're talking to the Los Angeles, whatever the communities are calling, to say, not only are we doing this, but we're being responsible to the taxpayers, and we've got this set up here so we can take the trash, so you, municipality, don't feel the burden of this any further, because you're already feeling the burden, and we're lightening your load a little bit. Wouldn't that be a novel way, a novel approach?
I'm torn between saying that's your job and saying that's a great idea, but I think maybe both. It's the city's job to clean the city, whether it was somebody who lives in Boston that drove through and threw a cup on the ground, or it's people who live here throwing things on the ground. It's the city's job to make sure the city's clean. It's like one of the primary functions of government. However, it's an amazing idea that we hadn't even thought of, that maybe we can reach out to some of the nonprofits in the area and see if they have money designated for those kinds of cleanups. And instead of going to do some kind of a park cleanup or a neighborhood cleanup, maybe we could use it to clean up those areas for the homeless. However, we're back to long-term solutions versus there's a need now. And I want to try and keep the council, especially when we're at the full council, to understand that those are two totally separate things. I don't want to throw out the good for the perfect, if you know what I mean. I'm perfectly happy, and I can't speak for anybody here, but I'm pretty sure, knowing Mike as much as I do, that he's perfectly happy, getting on the phone and see if we could find someone that could partner with us to do something like that. In the meantime, however, the garbage is there now, and the people who are hungry now, and they're cold now. And so we want to be able to provide that temporary assistance until a long-term solution can come along. They want to go back to the bus station. That's the short-term plan. The long-term plan is to have a building, and that's going to take some time. So this isn't just we want the bus stop and we're going to come back in perpetuity every year or every 6 months or every 2 years, whatever it is, and just keep extending and extending and extending. No, this is a part of an overall bigger picture. It's part of an overall bigger plan. I don't know if that answers your question, but I agree with you. On the other hand, it is the city's job. On the other hand, it's a great idea to not have to burden the city if we don't have to.
Any more questions, Councilor Pam?
I do, but we need to get home tonight, so I'm good.
Hey, I'm here all night for you.
No, we are not.
Whatever you need. And you know what, if you have any other questions after the council's over, email them to me. I'll be more than happy to go over it with the guys and try and get whatever answers that we can for you. The one thing we don't want to do is be a burden on the city. In fact, the whole purpose of this is to not be a burden on the city, but to help relieve some of the problems of the city.
Councilor De La Cruz, do you have a question?
Yes, I do, Councilor Levy. Councilor Levy, can you ask Mr. Dugan, if they can fill out the application through the recreation department, that we can have paper in place to follow the process. If we can table tonight, and then they do the process through the recreation department, and then we go from there.
So you want to, Council, you want to table it tonight, and then we'll come back to the next subcommittee meeting with all of the sign-offs, And then from there, it will go up to the full council if there's a vote to approve? Is that what you're saying? Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. As long as we don't end up running afoul of whatever the 60 or 90 days is that you gave us on the temporary order. Because I just can't remember if it was 60 or 90.
I think that was 60 days.
60, okay, so I just want to make sure that we don't run afoul of that. And as long as we're not running afoul of that, we'll be happy to provide you with whatever you need, including additional questions. If you know, tomorrow morning want to send me 20 more questions that you've thought of overnight, we'll be happy to go through it with you.
I make a motion to table.
Motion to table. Roll call, please.
Was there a second? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Second.
Roll call, please. Council LaPlante?
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz?
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes is absent. Council, oh my God.
Councilor Duggan votes yes.
Oh, Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Ana Levy say yes. Thank you.
Thank you, councilors. I appreciate your time, and I also want to apologize to the people that I told you guys to go first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to take document number 8822 off of table, matters and out of order.
Motion to take item 8822 out of order. Roll call. Council LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz.
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Selena Reyes is absent. And Council Ana Levy say yes. So item 8822 es cielo y tierra en intimidad con Dios. Spray Park at the Points on June 25th, 1922 at 6 p.m. by Jessica Aquino. Good evening. So can you state your name and address, please?
Good evening, I'm Jessica Aquino, and my address is 31 Bennington Street, Lawrence.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So right now, you must be having a copy of my application of the permit, and the first page is the final approval of the all the departments with the permits. As I know, it's when they called me in the last meeting, we was missing some permits, so right now it's up to date. Okay, so hi, as I mentioned before, I'm Jessica Aquino, and we have this community event. It's kind of a Christian concert for all the community, not only the Christian community, but for the whole city. We used to do this event every year in the summer. Because of the pandemic, we didn't make it on the 2020, either in the 21, but hopefully this year, we're gonna get this event on June 25th, and the event is gonna take place at 6 p.m. But the setup time starts at 2 p.m. as you have in the application. I'm here tonight just to know if you have any question for me.
Thank you. So, Council President LaPlante?
Madam Chair, it looks as though with the new documentation that all their approvals are in order, so if there's no further discussion, I'll be interested in making a motion to send it up.
I see Council de la Cruz.
I'll wait.
Second the motion.
Yes, okay.
And that motion, of course, is to send up to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Okay,
Okay, so the next city council is going to be next Tuesday.
so I have to come the next city
So
council meeting?
the next city council meeting, yes.
Okay,
Roll call, please. Council de la Cruz.
Yes.
Council Mar LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Selena Reyes is absent. Council Ana Levy say yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so see you Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm going to be serving on translation for the pastor right now for the next table item.
What?
So the table item is 9122.
Yeah, we're gonna take item 9122 out of table.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call. Council Mar LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz.
yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Selena Reyes is absent. Council Ana Levy say yes. So item 9122, la fiesta del barrio is a block party, splash park on June 4, 22.
So, excuse me, actually is, I'm sorry, it was my bad. It's 9422. 9422.
Okay, so it's no, okay, so not,
Through you, Madam Chair, is anybody here for 9422?
91.
Yeah, their item is 9422.
So they are for 9422.
Correct.
So there is no one for 9122.
Okay.
Actually, sorry. Actually, I'm gonna be representing Yamil Martinez for 9122. I just want to translate for them first.
Okay, so let's finish with 9122. That is
Okay.
already out of order right
All right,
now.
okay.
So, and then we can go with your item.
All right, sounds good to me.
So, item 9122 is the preach, it's la fiesta del barrio that I already mentioned.
Yes, it's,
Okay, can you let it know?
yes, it's a block party that Lawrence Community Works offer every year for the North Common community, Newberry Street and all the street around. So we're gonna use a part of the park. We're gonna use the parking of Lawrence Community Works, but also we're gonna be having tabling with information on the park. So the event is gonna take place on June 4th, 2022 at 10 a.m., from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I'm here representing Yamil Martinez, she's my boss for Honduran Community Works, just in case that you have any question.
Any questions?
Madam Chair, I'm just, my document seems incomplete. I don't have the final sign-off sheet on here. Would you, through you, somebody have it? We don't have that in our packet.
Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, so there seems to be at least one city clerk under review. There seems to be one with Liza Rosario under Fire and Health, Building and Health, that needs to be approved. So there seems to be a couple of these things that are missing on here.
Okay.
So my recommendation, Madam Chair, through you, is certainly, I mean, I have no problem sending this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, of course, pending that these sign-offs are complete.
All right.
Council de la Cruz, you have any question?
Second the motion,
Okay. So the motion is to send it to the full council with favor recommendation, pending the documentation that Council President LaPlante mentioned before.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay? So roll call is Councilor de la Cruz, Council President Mark LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes, absent. Council Selena de la Cruz is absent. So Council Ana Levy say yes. So the next item is item 9422 to take it out of the table. Roll call.
I'll make a motion, so moved, to take it out of table.
So roll call. Council President LaPlante,
Yes?
Council Maria de la Cruz,
yes.
Council Selena Reyes, absent. Council Estela Reyes, absent. Council Ana Levy say yes. So item 9422 is the preach of the Lord word, April to December 2022, from 11 to 1 p.m. at the O'Connor Park on Sunday. Immigrant Place, Mondays. At the Reviviendo Park on Wednesday. Nina Escarito Park, Friday. By Aixa de Quiñones, Iglesia Oasis de Esperanza. Okay?
Diga su nombre y su
So,
dirección para
please
récord.
give it your name and address.
Mi nombre es la pastora Aixa Quiñones. Mi dirección es 65 Water Street en apartamento 1, North Andover.
Okay. So my name is Pastora Aixa Quiñones, and my address is 65 Water Street, North Andover. Hable un poco acerca del evento, de qué se trata.
Estamos pidiendo este espacio para hacer eventos, para darnos a conocer en la comunidad, porque queremos ingresar en la comunidad como no solamente como iglesia Oasis de Esperanza, sino porque yo también soy directora de la capellanía Embassy Hall United Chaplain.
Okay, un minuto. So we want to get out in the streets to let the community know us, not only as a church, but also as a director of the Embassy of Chaplains.
Estamos, los capellanes, los estamos capacitando en diferentes áreas, como en FEMA, en CERT, y estamos asociándonos ya con la Cruz Roja para estar bien capacitados para poder servir a la comunidad como enlace.
So we are training chaplains in the community in connection with the Red Cross, so we can train people to serve our community as a chaplains.
Para servir como enlace de la comunidad con distintas agencias del gobierno.
So chaplains can connect the city with other organizations of the government.
Nosotros vamos a llevar la palabra del Señor, pero también vamos a suplir las necesidades de la comunidad.
So we are going to preach on those parts that we are asking for, but we also gonna help with the needs that the community have, with the people of the community have.
Sí, mi nombre es Octavio.
My name is Octavio.
Soy pastor también de Oasis de Esperanza.
I am the pastor of the church Oasis de Esperanza,
Y también tengo el privilegio de ser capellán.
and I also have the privilege of being a chaplain.
También la capellanía junto con la iglesia Oasis de Esperanza.
Also the chaplains with, together with the church,
Hacemos trabajo social,
we do social work.
por supuesto en beneficio de la ciudad de Lawrence, donde usualmente estamos nosotros.
In the benefit of our city.
Por ejemplo, durante el invierno
For example, during the winter,
recolectamos diferentes codos,
we collect coats
tanto damas como caballeros y niños,
for women, men, and children.
y diferentes capellanes junto con la iglesia Oasis de Esperanza buscamos a los homeless.
And different chaplains, also with the members of the church, we get into the street to get the homeless.
Y familias también de escasos recursos,
And also families with low incomes.
y les suplimos de abrigo.
And we give the coats to them.
Tuvimos otra actividad durante el tiempo de invierno
We also had another activity during the winter time
que repartimos alrededor sobre 300 pares de medias de frío.
that we give away around 300 socks for the winter.
Sí, específicamente buscamos a todos los homeless que podíamos hablar con ellos.
Especially to the homeless that we
Yeah,
found in the streets.
Yes, y además de medias, les suplimos también hand sanitizer y mascarillas.
So we didn't only supply socks, but also we give to them masks and hand sanitizers.
Y en otras ocasiones también le proveemos de sándwich y un café caliente.
In other occasions, we also give to them sandwiches and coffee, hot coffee.
Y lo seguimos haciendo.
And we keep moving forward with this project.
Y eso es una pequeña parte de lo que hacemos como iglesia y como capellanes.
And
en
this
esta
is
ciudad.
only a small part of what we do as a church and as chaplains for this community.
Repartimos juguetes
We
a
give
los
toys
niños
to the kids
en Navidad,
in Christmas.
compras también.
Also, we give away food and like grocery.
Y también damos servicios a personas que están pasando por situaciones difíciles, consejería.
We also give counseling to people that are having issues with difficult situations.
Por eso pues estamos pidiendo, ¿verdad?
That's why we are asking for
Este espacio
this space
para poder predicar y llevar la información a la comunidad durante este tiempo en estos parques.
so we can preach and give this type of information to the community on those parks,
Específicamente en estos tiempos
especially in these times
de tanta confusión para todos
of
nosotros,
so much confusion for everyone.
llevándole una palabra de sustento y de esperanza a la
Giving a
persona,
word of hope and happiness to all the people.
pero también le damos ayuda social.
So, but we also give social help.
Y le estamos pidiendo que nos concedan estos días en estos parques para poder llevar ese mensaje.
And we are asking you to please give us these days on those parks to help the community. So if you have any question for them, I can happily translate.
Councilor, any question?
Madam Chair, there seems to be a pretty good application, but there seems to be a few things that are missing. And again, I don't know if this is the most current.
¿Ustedes tienen el
permit.
papeleo de la aplicación? No, no la imprimieron. So ellos tienen la aplicación, I'm translating. Ellos tienen la aplicación que ustedes llenaron, pero también hay algunas cosas que están faltando en la aplicación. So they are missing signatures too, or?
They are, this is again as of last week. One is Liza Rosario under the Fire, Building and Health, that there's no approval there. There's a couple of them under the city clerk that's under review. So there's a couple under review, and so just to double check, just to make sure everything else, so it's not a lot, but just a couple of items that needs to be
Hay algunas
checked
firmas
out.
que le están faltando. So the motion is to come back the next Tuesday?
1 second, please.
Oh, and is that?
So I mean, there will likely be a motion that will probably say that, and likely be sending it up with a favorable likely, but we need to make sure that the applicant is aware that it's not complete yet, and it needs to be a little more work done so that the full council has confidence that we reviewed it and that everything is like it should be. I do have a question regarding the actual structure, because it was a lot of information. I don't want to take as much time as before. I wasn't sure if the applicant was able to understand or listen to the earlier conversation with the other individuals that are here, but it sure seemed to me as though there's a lot of connectivity with respect to the mission that we're hearing from these pastors and their churches and what this other group is doing. And I often wonder, are these organizations talking to each other? Food is being given, aid is being given, clothes is being given, toys, socks, I mean, the list went on. And this other organization, I'm presuming, is doing similar things.
Yeah.
And what breaks my heart is when I just see a lot of people doing a lot of things, a lot of redundancies. And I really wish there were groups that could get together and just focus more entirely on it. And then my last point is, and I think we as leaders need to be more cognizant and aware that while part of this ministry is doing a lot of the good work, and I want to thank you because we need to hear your message among our population, but on the practical side as well, as after all these things are given and all these things are distributed, who ends up making sure that that stuff is clean, that the stuff that's not used anymore is taken care of. What are we doing as a city to make sure that the whole is being completed? Not just the giving, but then the cleanup on the backside, which is a lot less sexy, a lot less. It's hard to go on social media and say, yeah, I clean all this stuff up, but it's a great thing to say, I fed all these people and I gave 100 kids all these toys. You can actually say that, but it's harder work to do the cleanup on the backside. So I just wanted to get a reaction to that statement.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, actually, that remember to me a project that Lawrence Community Works do that is clean up, that we make cleanups like 4 times in a year in different neighborhoods. So I'm gonna bring that to the table too. That's a good idea. So lo que él está, I'm gonna translate that. So lo que él está mencionando es que él está viendo que ustedes están trabajando lo mismo también que el otro grupo de personas estaba aquí proyectando y que es muy bonito que estén haciendo eso, pero que sería aún mucho mejor que trabajen unidos, no solamente en dar, sino también en luego recolectar las cosas que se desperdician, que crea basura en la ciudad, para poder mantener nuestra ciudad más limpia. Es que todos trabajemos en equipo. Okay. I just tried to make like a resume. Yeah.
Council de la Cruz, do you have any question on this?
Tienen que regresar porque le faltan firmar.
No, I would like to make a motion to approve or to send to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Pending the approval of some of these items that it was mentioned before.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. So I know that we already closed my item, but I have an extracurricular petition because my item has been in table like for 3 weeks, I guess. I couldn't make it the first week because I had a situation with my kids in the house. I just want to make sure, to put in the table that I'm a mom. I have 3 kids now, so I cannot be coming back every week. That's why I made the effort to have all my paperwork tonight. I completely understand that you like to all the conciliar see the application and everything, but what I think is that I already have all the signatures approved all to date on the paperwork that I brought today. So I don't know if we can make something that I don't have to come back to another meeting because it's hard for me. I had to get babysitting to come here on the nights. I hope you guys understand me. Sorry.
So are we talking about the 9422?
No, we are talking about the 8822, mine, yeah, Jessica Aquino.
Huh?
We are talking about Jessica Aquino's one, it's 8822.
80.
No, we're on that right. Let's vote on that.
Okay, so right now we need to vote on the 9422.
All right, sorry, I thought that we was closing that one.
No,
Okay.
still we haven't closed yet.
Okay, so you have another question for the 94?
Motion is being made and second
Okay.
by Council Maria de la Cruz, Ron Cole, Council President LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes is absent, Council Selena Reyes is absent, Council Ana Levy say yes. So,
Okay, gracias.
okay, so you need to come so next Tuesday to the full council.
Tienen que regresar entonces el
thank you.
próximo martes al meeting completo. Y yo les voy a decir cómo vamos a imprimir la aplicación para que traigan mi papeleo. Espérenme ahí entonces. Okay. Siempre.
We already finished that, so she asked.
You already had that, you gave us the documents that are.
Yes, so she said that if we can do
I think we're
something.
good, I'm not sure.
It says that we can do something that she doesn't have to. So for the item, item 8822, you need to come in on the 20th, on Tuesday. It's gonna be at the full council. So they're gonna take the final resolution on how to proceed with this item. So I don't see any problem right now because you provided us with all of the information that we were looking for. But that's the procedure, you know, the rule that you have to come to the next meeting.
I understand. Thank you
Okay,
for
you're
take my consideration anyways.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Good night.
So I think someone forget this phone here. Yeah, so, okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to take,
So we are all set? Awesome.
Yes,
Madam Chair, I'd like to take document number 4021 out of order and off the table matters.
So motion to take item 44,
4021
4021.
from last year.
Oh, this is from the last year.
Yes, ma'am. Going deep. Going deep. I'll help you.
So this is page number.
4.
Page number 4, we're gonna take item 4021. I wanna hear a second. So item 4021 is out of table right now. It's an ordinance to require that the naming of any city-owned public way or public property must be approved by resolution by the Lawrence City Council. This is being by Council President LaPlante. Roll call. Council President LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Maria de la Cruz.
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes is absent. Council Estela Reyes is absent. Council Ana Lady say yes. So.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this document is something that is the slip between the cracks, and I was wondering what happened to it, and we found it. And the city attorney actually wrote and drafted the ordinance language. I sent it to each of you this evening prior to the meeting. But the essence of this, let me back up. You may have recalled this last March of 2021 or February of 2021, when I put this on the agenda. We made some amendments to it. We liked it at the ordinance committee. We sent it to the city attorney, and then she brought it down. The purpose of this, as a reminder, the purpose of this is that there is no order or process by which something in the city gets named after somebody. Example, I'm working on a project right now. There is and you'll see a resolution next Tuesday, but the resolution is for this guy by the name of Captain Jim Mulligan. And Captain Jim Mulligan was a POW in the Vietnam War. He's from Lawrence, and he spent 7 years in a camp in Vietnam, in Hanoi, in some of the worst circumstances. In 2013, a corner was named after him. Council had nothing to do with it. There's been no vote of the city council for that corner. Meanwhile, other corners in the city, by the way, he was very deserving of that, like 110% easily. But the problem here is that there was no council. We did not get involved as a council on this. And there seems to be people putting up signs, putting up monuments, putting up things, and there's no structure. So what this is looking to do is to create some structure. So if there is a corner or a bridge or a park or a school or whatever it is that's going to be named after someone, the mayor will send that to the council. The council will discuss it in a committee and then either vote it up or vote it down. But it's the mayor and the council working together to figure out, is that corner, is that park, is that bridge, is that whatever should be named after somebody, and trying to put some order instead of some of them are being done by the council, some of them are being done by the mayor, some of them are being done by somebody else, and that's the idea. So the language is before us, to send it up to the full council to order a public hearing, and that's my, I'll answer any question, but that's what I hope the motion will be.
Councilor de la Cruz, you have any question?
My question to Mr. LaPlante. Mr. LaPlante?
Present.
No, he have a question for you.
I'm here.
Oh.
Yes. then you're saying that all resolution will have to come to the city councilors, and then they're gonna be applied, right?
The answer is yes. The city council will be a part of the process.
Okay. We have requested a resolution that is not about a person, but it's about a day of celebration. Will those be the same or different?
So what this is not dealing, and I'm sorry I confused it with giving an example. Forget about the example. What this is a process. Going forward, anybody has a resolution for anybody on any square, there's now going, if this is adopted, there'll be a process that will then give guidance to the mayor and the council as to how something is named after someone. I'm not naming anything after anybody at this point. This is nothing to do any naming, it's just the ordinance.
Second your motion.
There is a motion to send it to the full council to order a public hearing. Can I hear a second?
Second the motion.
So motion is already approved. Roll call. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor President LaPlante,
Yes.
Councilor Celina Reyes is absent. Councilor Estela Reyes is absent. Councilor Ana Levy say yes. Motion is approved. So, any other item that we would like to take it out of order? Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. It's already second. Roll call. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Celina Reyes is absent. Councilor Estela Reyes is absent. And Councilor Ana Levy say yes. Thank you, everybody.